channel. If you guys have been following me for a while, you've noticed probably that I like kind of a more natural face, and I've actually gotten a couple questions on that, on what I use. Really, it's just because I was raised mainly by my dad and I've got a lot of brothers. Makeup was not a big thing in my household. So I'm going to show you guys what I use, what's in my makeup bag, what are my favorites, and what are my not so favorites. So let's go. So not to say that my skin is the greatest, obviously. Like once a month hormones come around, I get really stressed, I break out, but this is kind of what works for me. I have extremely sensitive skin. I cannot wash my face every day. I wash my makeup off every day. But I am very sensitive to face washes and things like that. So this is what I found for me that works best. So 2 times, maybe a week, I use the Boscia charcoal makeup melter. You guys can see. This is one of my favorites by far. I'm out of this one, so you can't really see anything. But it's kind of like a waxy, almost like candly material, I guess. But it's very soft, and you take it full face of makeup, just a little dab will do ya, and you rub it between your hands, and you rub your face, dry face and all, get all your mascara, and then you just take a little bit of water and you mix it in, and it makes it really milky, and then you wipe it off. And honestly, this is the best makeup remover face wash, hands down. I have more on the way right now. It's my absolute favorite. I got this as a sample at Sephora because I was very skeptical, again, because I have very sensitive skin. This works really, really, really well for me. But again, I only use it 2 to 3 times a week, maybe. So other than that, I use the Younique Royalty Moisture Boosting Gentle Cleanser. I am not affiliated with Younique in any way. I am not a presenter, but I have several friends who are, so I decided to give this one a try. Again, I can only use it 2 to 3 times a week, but I have noticed that my skin isn't completely dried out, and it does help clear up breakouts. So I'm pretty happy with it for the 2 to 3 times a week that I use it. I am pretty happy with this. And it's just, I use this one in the shower just with a washcloth, wash my face off, very basic. So after the shower, I got this one. If you guys watched my birthday haul, I was really excited about this rose water spray for good reason. You guys, this is the shit. It is amazing. After I get out of the shower, take all my makeup off and wash my face, I spray my face a few times with this, just kind of mist it over and let it soak in. My tone has way evened out. My breakouts aren't nearly as bad when they do happen. And with this, they clear up a whole lot faster. So this is like holy grail kind of stuff. If you guys can't see that, go to my birthday haul video, and I linked it in the comments where you can buy it off of Amazon. This was $14. Totally worth it. Other than that, I've had this forever. This lasts so long that the thing is starting to peel off. This is the Pond's Dry Skin Cream. And it's very moisturizing, but I use a very small, very, very small amount, like for my whole face and neck area. Every other day, maybe 3 times a week, if my skin really doesn't need it. Because it will, for me personally, I know this works great for people with dry skin, and I do have dry skin every now and then. But because my skin is so sensitive, I can only use this about 3 times a week, or it makes me really oily. But that is really the basis of my whole skincare routine. Next up, I do primer. And actually, I didn't even use primer until up about a year ago. I didn't really think it was necessary. I thought it was just kind of like, I don't really need it. But since then, it is a game changer. So here are some of my favorites. Right now, I am in love with the Makeup Forever Skin Equalizer. I don't know if I think this is my birthday haul too. I got the really small sample, and then I went back and I bought this one because it is just, it's freaking fantastic. This one is the mattifying. They have several different ones I didn't even know about until I went to Sephora to pick this up. They have several different kinds. This is the Step 1 Skin Equalizer Mattifying Primer. So far, my favorite. It's very silky, it almost, when you get it out of the tube, it almost looks like concealer, but it dries very clear. It just smooths everything over. It's almost like a blurring effect for your blemishes. I love this. It's my favorite one. After that, I just have the box. I don't even have any more left of this, but I found this in my makeup drawer. It's the Pore-fect by Benefit. This is their primer. This was my favorite before I found this. It's, again, very similar to the Makeup Forever. We're just going to have to go on. Mom. Whatever. This was my favorite before I found the Makeup Forever. It's very similar, very concealer-esque when you get it out of the tube, but just kind of blurs everything, smooths everything over. Again, another awesome primer. This one slightly edges this out. I can't tell you what it was, but I just prefer this one. So, but if you're looking for a drugstore score, say that 10 times fast. The Baby Skin by Maybelline is a great drugstore primer. I used this for a while. It's very, I don't even know if I have any of this left. Just barely. It's clear. Can you see that? Yeah. It's clear. Very, like, I don't know, it's a drugstore primer. It's not a bad primer. I just prefer this one. As far as foundations go, I definitely have a few favorites. For the most part, almost any foundation does fairly well for me. The only one that I've ever had a real issue with was the Younique Liquid Gold. I can't remember the actual name of it. Their foundation, it was just a little bit too oily for my skin. But I do love their concealer. Anyways, my favorite by far is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. I got a sample of this last summer. If you guys have ever followed me on Snapchat, then you saw me rave about this last summer. I got a sample of it. And it's a very thick formula, but if you apply it right, it's very thin, it's very natural. It's just, it covers everything, and it's not oily, it's very matte, sticks to your skin without feeling heavy. It's just an all-over fantastic foundation. I've heard a couple people say that it dries out their skin, but from someone with very sensitive skin that gets dry very easily, I have never had an issue with this, and it's SPF 15. So for full coverage, I absolutely love this foundation. The second one is the Tarte Tinted BB Cream Plus Primer. So it's a 2-in-1, which I love. And this is actually an SPF 30, so it's really good for summertime. And it's basically like a baby version of this. It's a BB version of this. Again, it's very, very lightweight, but very good coverage. It's got the SPF. It's good for your face. It's just good stuff. I lost the cap on this. I'm going to need more this summer, but I absolutely love this. It's another Tarte. I'm a very big fan of Tarte. Lastly is the Clinique Stay Matte Oil-Free Makeup. This is kind of a weird one because I do love this foundation, but it's not quite as good of a coverage as the Tarte. And it still says full coverage, but this has a lot more coverage than this, if that makes any more sense. It's not as thick of a formula. It's still matte. It's not oily on my skin. It still stays very well. It's just not as thick as the Amazonian Clay foundation. So I prefer this one. This is still a fantastic foundation. I like the thickness of this. I don't have much to say about concealer, but this NYX Gotcha Covered Total Concealer is hands down my favorite. Very basic. It's just a NYX concealer. I use the Younique concealer every now and again, but it is a lot thicker. I like how thin this is with still having a ton of coverage. It's very much a dabble do it kind of thing. You can see I'm almost out. And it's cheap, which is good for me. So it's waterproof, total concealer. Very basic, but I love it. I actually don't really have a lot of natural brow. Funny story, when I was in 5th grade and then 6th grade, I shaved off my eyebrows on accident. So I don't have a whole lot of natural brow left, but this Benefit Ka-Brow Gel really grabs onto what I have, and it makes it really easy to blend with what I draw on, which is why I love it. And it's a gel formula. It comes with a separate stick. Then you twist that off. Boom. The only complaint that I have had is maybe just because I've had it for so long because I use such a little product. But I feel like more people would use the same amount. I don't know. Whatever. I've had this product for a while, several months, and the gel was starting to dry out. All I did was I put a little bit of contact solution in there. It was fine. It's a little bit watery than it was, more watery than it was before, but it glides really easy. It's very easy to shape them. Absolute love. From somebody that never used to have brows and didn't know how to do brows until like a year and a half ago. Love, love, love. And it came with this. Now this is the Benefit High Brow. It's a brow highlighter. Can you guys see? It's like a very pale pinky color, but basically I just put this like right here and right here to highlight. Ooh, got a little bit right there. To highlight that archy shape that I kind of constructed. And it's just, it really brightens up my face. Like you don't think it would make that much of a difference, but it brightens up my face and I love it. Not a whole lot to say. Just really, really good, solid products. Some of my favorites. Something that I don't go a day without using. So, Benefit has my vote for brows. To set all of this glorious makeup, the Makeup Forever Setting Powder Ultra HD. My favorite right now. I have tried the Tarte setting powder. There was nothing wrong with it. It's very fine compared to this. Not that this is really bulky or cakey or anything, but the formula for this seems to have a bit more oomph to it. If that makes any sense. They're both great setting powders. For whatever reason, this edges out Tarte just a little bit. Just the Makeup Forever. This was actually a sample that I got. I need to go get some more. But it's lasted quite a while, actually. It's just a loose setting powder that I use to kind of cover up my face when I'm all done with my makeup, so everything stays and continues to look pretty. Very basic. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a great setting powder. Boom. Highlighting and contouring were kind of like a foreign concept to me until fairly recently. About a year and a half ago is really when I started to get into quality makeup versus drugstore makeup. Because I use so little products, I can splurge on things. But my mom was really the one, believe it or not, that got me into highlighting and contouring. So these are some of my favorites. My absolute favorite was another sample that I got. Somehow I acquire all of these samples. I don't know how this happens, but I went to go get a full size and they were completely out at Sephora of the color that I wanted. So I went with something else, but I'll show you that in a moment. This is the Makeup Forever Color Paint Aqua XL in I-50. You guys can see that. It's actually kind of an all-over thing. Can be used as a cream shadow, as a highlight. There's other things you can do with it. I don't really know. That's all I used it for. But it's a gorgeous highlighting color similar to this, but it's got a little bit more shimmer and just a smidgen less pink. That's what this one looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous. It was my favorite, and I was so bummed out when they were out. But she recommended this. It's the Benefit What's Up Watts. Spelled like a light bulb watt, W-A-T-T. What's Up. And again, it's a very pretty color, shimmery, blah, blah, blah. And it comes with this like sponge tip thing, so you can just like dab it on rather than use your hands. I still use my fingers, or I use one of my beauty blenders. So I don't really know. To me, this like took too much of it off. When I was trying to like highlight, it took too much of it off, so I don't use this part. But the highlight is still very pretty. I still prefer this, sorry to say. But this is a good second place if you cannot find this. Now contour, I don't do a whole lot of contour. I already have pretty severe cheekbones. I have very severe features. So I don't use a whole lot of contour. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, can you see the highlight? Not really. That's all right. But every now and then I will use this HOOLA Quick Contour Stick. Again, because I don't really use it that often. I just take a flat concealer brush and I doop boop boop, doop boop boop, and a little bit up here, a little bit over here, and I just use my beauty blender to blend it into the rest of me. And that's about it. I don't use contour every day. I don't feel like I need contour every day, but when I want to feel a little bit extra, I go ahead and grab this. Blush is another thing that I don't necessarily use every day, but it is really nice to have that little pop of color when you need it. So right now, most of the time I'm using Concept, which is the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. Imagine that, another Tarte product. Very pinky, subtle, natural. Again, very natural face. I've used this for a while. It's very pretty. But I also love when I'm feeling a little bit more poppy, I go for the NARS. You can see, obviously, compared, like, this has a lot more oomph to it versus the natural look. So I use this date night, or if I'm doing anything special, I go ahead and use the NARS. And this is Orgasm. Ooh, imagine that. So, Orgasm, when I'm feeling a little bit more fancy. But everyday use, I really love the Concept. Very natural. I don't even think I have it on today. I can't remember. But it's a very natural, very pretty color. I'm basic. The eyes are something that I wish I could do better. I feel like every time I try, it comes off way too dark. And I'm just not really a fan of eyeshadow looks on me. To all those girls out there that can do that shit every day, fucking kudos to you, baby, because I can't do it. I can't do it, and I look funny. So, what I use is mascara. That's the magic sauce right there. Everyone talks about my lash. Not everybody. I get questions about my lashes. They are not fake. These are my real lashes. I just use mascara. My favorites being Makeup Forever. Imagine that. This is another sample. Again, my makeup bag consists mainly of samples. I get them from my mom. I get them at Sephora to try out, and then eventually they become full size and they stay in my makeup bag. But these samples last forever. So the Excessive Lash Makeup Forever, currently my favorite. It's what I'm wearing today. And second is the Tarte Gifted. This came with my foundation samples a couple of months ago. I can't remember. But it's a much bigger brush. Much larger brush compared to the Makeup Forever. So it's a bit more dramatic. You see, I'll compare the two. Both of them are very good mascaras. I feel like I use the Tarte when I'm looking for a little bit more oomph. You see? Makeup Forever, Tarte. It's like a baby version of the Tarte. Anyways. But either way, I feel like the Makeup Forever is a bit more natural, which again is very much kind of my aesthetic. But there's both very high quality, very good mascaras. I recommend them both 100%. If I ever do use a liner, it's usually just like a smudge pencil, something up on the waterline, way up under there. I really don't go crazy with it because I'm just not good at it. But mostly it's just mascara. The products that I don't love as much have to be the Smashbox LA Lights Blendable Lip and Cheek Color. To me, this just really didn't do a whole lot. You guys see that color right there? It's supposed to be like a highlight, obviously, whatever. To me, it really didn't do anything. It wasn't very blendable. It wasn't real showstopper. And if I'm using a highlight, I want something that's like, boom, right? So this was not a favorite for me. Not that it was absolutely terrible. Just was not my thing. Other than that, what is this? Brightening Creamy Concealer from Maybelline Dream something. This was not awful. Again, not my favorite, but there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just I don't so much prefer the stick concealers. I really like the tube. To me, this was just, it's a drugstore concealer, so it's a concealer. It will conceal, but it is not, I would give this like a B versus an A. You know what I'm saying? If I was grading, it would be like a B. Like, it's good. It's just not, whoa, right? Now this, I used to love this. And it makes me sad to say that I don't like it so much anymore. But I noticed the longer I wore it, the more fake it made my eyebrows look. It made them look very much like drawn on. And like, you could tell that they were not right. It's the 24-hour brow setter, and it's an invisible gel. There we go. It's an invisible gel you put over your brows, and it helps them stay in place, right? And it worked really well for a while. But like I said, the longer I used it, the more it made me feel like my brows didn't look right when I had it on. So I quit using it, and my brows, they just look so much more natural to me without it. And if you want something to keep your brows in place, this is it. But if you're like me and you have to draw them on mostly, and it's mostly just gel, putting gel over top of gel kind of washes it out, makes it look funny. It's not the right color. Do without it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and seeing what I have in my makeup bag and what I love and what I don't love so much. So make sure when you watch this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe so you can see more videos like this. Feel free to comment, send any love, any messages. Follow me on IG to see more of my makeup looks. I did a Valentine's Day look that was very pretty, but this is about it. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Bye!